Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's varsity soccer is live and on the air. We are live back at Hornet Stadium for the district final for District 10 of the men's varsity soccer for the MHSAA playoffs, where it is your Pioneer varsity men's soccer team here to take on the Saline Hornets. As let's take a look briefly at how we got here, as we'll bring up the bracket. Pioneer started off with a win versus Belleville in the opening round of the district, 5-1. Skyline beat Dexter 1-0. Pioneer ended up beating Skyline to get to today's game 1-0 with a header by Kerbway with 40 seconds left. Huron won the opening round versus Lincoln 6-1. Then they played Saline. That was at 7 o'clock 2 days ago. Saline cruised in that one 4-0, although a lot of their goals came in late. It was scoreless throughout the majority of the first half. But then Saline won 4-0. So that's where we're at. Saline 16-3-2 on the season. Pioneer 14-3-3. Saline won the SEC Red. Pioneer in second place, right behind them. The district title on the line and advancing to the boys regional number 3. As we are getting ready to go, Pioneer, taking a look and comparing the two teams, points for Pioneer has 55 points for, Saline has 61. So Saline with 6 more points than Pioneer. Pioneer has 16 points against, whereas Saline has 26 points against, so that being 10 more for Saline. Saline's plus-minus average is, Saline has a plus 35 points versus their opponents. Pioneer plus 49 points, so Pioneer 15 points to the good in that manner. Now, taking a look at the points per game, Pioneer has 2.75. Saline has 3.81, so they have a more high-powered offense. You can see that with total points for. Pioneer has 0.8 points for the opponents against per game. Saline has 1.8. So Pioneer's defense thus far in these games have been better, but with similar opponents, but not the exact same. Saline is plus 2.21 goals a game. Pioneer plus 1.95 goals a game. So that would be Saline about a quarter, just over a quarter of a goal more than Pioneer differential on a game. These two teams have played each other twice already. The first was a Saline win. That was back on August 30th. That was at Pioneer, and that was a 6-4 win by the Hornets. Then Pioneer returned the favor, winning here at Saline. That was back on September 22nd. That was a 1-0 win by Pioneer here at Saline. So the two folks have played each other twice, and they've split it, each one winning at each other's home venues. So that would seem to bode well for Pioneer, but you never know until you play the games. This one should be a hotly contested game. 2 scratches we have for Pioneer's team, as Felix Starosta is a scratch for today, as well as Alex Krifkins is out for today for today's game. We don't have any official scratches for the Saline's team. But both of these squads up and getting ready to go. Taking a look at the final SEC Red standings, Saline 12-1-1 in the SEC Red for 37 points. Pioneer was 11-1-2 for 35 points, so just 2 points behind Saline. Then Skyline was 8-2-4. Following up Pioneer, they had 28 points, so 7 points behind Pioneer. Huron right behind Skyline by 2 points. They were 8-4-2 for 28 points. That was the top 4 in the SEC Red. as we are about to get ready to go, and we'll turn it over to the public address announcer here as he begins to announce the teams in about 2 minutes. But let's play a few messages from the MHSAA, and we will be right back. This is after the fact action here for the district final, District 10, between Pioneer and Saline.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
And just in case you wondered what the national sport of this country is at this point, there are a number of good folks here all bundled up. Game time temperature, by the way, 43 degrees, so about 2 degrees warmer than 2 days ago. And despite the fact that there was snow falling earlier today, it didn't stick and it doesn't appear to be rainy. But there's about twice the level of crowd for the JV football game behind us, where Lake Orion is a point down, 2:02 left to go in the first. Saline up 23-22, as you might hear some big roars from behind us. But folks are still filing in, so hopefully we'll get to equal crowds over here cheering on the football match, or the association football match here. Let's turn it over to the public address announcer.
For today's 2022 Boys Soccer Division I District matchup between Ann Arbor Pioneer and the Saline Hornets. And now let's meet the lineups for today's game between the Pioneers of Ann Arbor Pioneer and the Hornets of Saline. For the visiting Pioneers of Ann Arbor Pioneer, number 0, Ryan Queen. Number 1, Zach Wilhelm. Number 2, Adonis Anderson. Number 3, Reese Berman. Number 5, Josh Jacob. Number 6, Rafa Carrillo. Number 7, Sam Kinnard. Number 8, Lucas Anderson. Number 9, Jack Ryan. Number 10, Isaac Chuknowski. Number 11, Sora Koss. Number 12, Ilian Seinfeld Chop. Number 13, Lucas Strickler. Number 14, Santee Fiore. Number 15, Jack Templeton. Number 16, Lucas Medina. Number 17, Diego Rivera. Number 18, Tyler Wilkins. Number 19, Micah Jacobson. Number 20, Alex Kerfinskins. Number 21, Sori Gansane. Number 22, Brendan Moore. Number 23, Felix Starosta. Number 26, Xander Reifler. Number 27, Carter Kerwabi. Number 30, Abdu Kaba. And number 99, Cole Piroff. The head coach of the Pioneers is John Sunderman. Now for your home team, the Hornets of Saline. Number 1, Number 2, Jackson Phillips. Number 3, Connor Mitchell. Number 4, Luke Allen. Number 5, Noah Lepore. Number 6, Alex Larson. Number 7, Ben O'Neill. Number 8, Michael Bryant. Number 9, Isaac York. Number 10, Drew Barker. Number 11, Colin Learman. Number 12, Lucas Caruna. Number 13, Eli Gray. Number 14, Will Loveland. Number 15, Nick Braden. Number 16, Sean Courtney. Number 17, Colin York. Number 18, Anthony Gentili. Number 19, Christian Rossi. Number 20, Juan Martin Balga. Number 21, Jaden Safuna. Number 22, Jacob Pinata Blue. Number 24, Riley Berman. Number 25, Gunnar Bollinger. The head coach for the Hornets is Ryan Williams.
That's usually where I record.
Ladies and gentlemen, the privilege of the event, this event was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts and our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your hats. All veterans, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone able, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart as we proudly sing our national anthem.
Broadcasting.com. As soon as the game's over, it'll be out there. But yeah, I think the other one, we're just here because the internet cable reaches over here. So yeah. As we are getting ready to broadcast, or getting ready to go for this game here, as it is Pioneer versus Saline for the District 10 title. We are happy and proud to be able to be here as this broadcast available immediately after the game is over, as you won't know because you're now watching it and the game is over, but we appreciate that. Lots of wonderful people tuned in after the exciting action on Tuesday as Kerpaway had a header with 40 seconds left to go to break what had been 2 full games plus another half, so 5 halves of football of soccer without a score. And Pioneer able to break that late in the game to get past Skyline here to play Saline. Saline cruised especially towards the end, making it 4-0 versus Huron. Huron gave them a tough match early, but Saline able to pour it on towards the end of the match. Nicer day today, as I mentioned. Couple degrees warmer, so not too much, but the rain is not falling, at least as of yet. Hopefully I haven't jinxed us, but it was a miserable kind of rainy day on Tuesday, and that appears to be, boy, even if it's colder, if you're not wet, it makes it so much nicer out here. Lots of wonderful, amazing fans. As you can hear the cheer as the starting 11 hit the field for Saline. Pioneer now has their starting 11 coming out. Wilhelm heads down towards our right to patrol the woodwork to our right for this first half. On the other side, looks like Behrman is wearing the keeper jersey as Mitzel runs out onto the field to be a part of the starting 11. As again, more and more fans piling in, and maybe we can even get some of the wonderful varsity football fans who are at halftime across the way to our JV football fans across the way to come over and cheer on the beautiful game. 40 minutes up on the clock. Been a good day already got to see an Arsenal win a little bit earlier in the day. That was fantastic. They continue to roll. Saw someone else with a nice Arsenal sticker on the back of their car with the Pioneer Soccer. So Kerbaway in the center circle. Set, get things going. Chuknowski to his left, Strickler to his right. All the way across the way along the far wing is Rivera. As there's the whistle, we are underway. Back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson lofts it all the way down the pitch. That headed back by the Hornets, trying to get Chuknowski on the near wing. Chuknowski moves down the near touchline over to Medina, trying to hold it in. That blasted back the other direction by this lean defense. Played down, moved ahead over to Medina. Medina comes down on the near touchline, trying to get it away. Allen bats it the other direction. Now that launched all the way down by Phillips, back into the Pioneer defensive third. Moving over, Van Ryan kicks it down. Pioneers in the white shirt kits, so the white tops on their kits. The numbers in purple on the front and back. They have the purple shorts and the white socks. As Saline is in their dark blue kits with the yellow numbering on the front and back. Dark blue shorts and dark blue socks. That goes out the far touchline with the throw-in Pioneer, and that gets moved back and then hit high up. That'll go out and into the visitor stands across the way. So one of the ball wranglers will get that set back over. Templeton with the throw-in over to Strickler. That gets headed off the pitch, off the far touchline. As over to grab it, Learman. Learman gets it over as Isaac York sends it down the far touchline. Grabbed by Van Ryan. Van Ryan sends it ahead. That knocked down by Kerbaway. Kerbaway has it knocked away. Fired the other direction by Balda. Now coming down on the near wing. Racing ahead with it. That brought over into the 18 and a grab by Wilhelm. As that was fed over by number 21, who I don't have on my roster for Saline. We have a couple additional people who came on. Didn't see that one, but that was a crossover. The official talking to Wilhelm in the 18 as Wilhelm came over. As Berman over there talking to him as well. Now the official comes over talking between Berman and one of the Hornet players. 21 is Safuna. So I'm going to write that down really quickly. Safuna. They had a couple JV players come up, so the roster I got off the internet isn't maybe quite accurate. That pulls over onto the near wing, goes out the near touchline. So it looks like the discussion at this moment, much ado about nothing. That comes over, tipped by Kerboy. Kerboy has it, trying to get past Loveland. That pull back, coming the other direction, knocked away from Balda. Now sent back into their own, into their own defensive third. Saline has it. That gets moved back over, back along the end line by Lepore. Now brought up the far touchline, and that will go out. That will be a throw-in for the Hornets as they quickly throw it in. Knocked down on the far touchline. Batted up by Learman. Now brought back. Berman trying to get it. Van Ryan volleys it all the way down. That headed by Kerbaway. Deep into the defensive third for Saline. Just in front of the 18. Allen has it, and Allen lifts an arcing ball all the way down into the Pioneer defensive third. Van Ryan trying to get that the other direction, now headed over. Here comes Chuknowski. Chuknowski over onto the near touchline for Wilkins. Wilkins trying to get past the four. And all the way over onto the far side. Templeton pops it up. As now that sent into the far corner, headed by Berman. Now Lucas Anderson heads it, not letting it touch the ground. That comes all the way back to the center line. And fired by Allen, all the way back deep, trying to get to Barker. Now that pulled down as Isaac York trying to fire it deep. Lucas Anderson gathers it in just inside the middle third. Lucas Anderson heads towards the middle of the pitch. Now moving over, Allen blasts it all the way back deep. Van Ryan heads it out of his own defensive third, back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson dispossessed by Isaac York. Isaac York feeds it all the way across the pitch. That goes over and out the far touchline. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer over on that far touchline. Tossed over, headed up by Kerbaway, trying to knock it down on that far wing. That goes all the way back into the 18. Grabbed there by Behrman. Behrman lifts that down just past the center line. That goes out the near touch line, but that will be Saline with the throw-in. They'll say Pioneer touched that last. With the throw-in, that's Loveland. He's trying to get a ball from the bench. Loveland with the throw-in down on the near wing. That knocked by Medina, now headed back to the center line. Grabbed the other direction by Lepore, but a whistle as that's going to come back, and that's going to be a kick by Saline. They'll have it just over the center line as Allen will try and send that deep into the Pioneer defensive third. Allen raises his hand, puts his right foot into it. That gets into the 18. Wilhelm grabs it in traffic. Excellent job, and throws it out on the near side to Wilkins. Wilkins, one of the three Pioneer players who ended up first team SEC Red. That moved over onto the far wing, now coming ahead with the Templeton. Templeton lifts that all the way down the far wing. Headed back the other direction by Allen, pulled down by Kerbaway, and moved back to Templeton on the far touchline. Templeton trying to move it over, and stolen away. Sent back down on the near wing, and collision. Medina trying to get that. Sephora brings it away down the near sideline, and that knocked out. Sephora. And it knocked out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Saline. Hornets have it. As right, Barker with the throw-in. Barker tosses it into the 18. That kicked away by Chuknowski. That goes out the end line, but that will turn into a corner for Saline as Barker will have it in the near corner.
Corner kick by number 10, Drew
First
Barker.
set piece here of the game, Drew Barker. Pops it up, arcs it into the 18. That hit by Allen, headed up, trying to knock it away as Rossi headed it. And grabbed by Wilhelm. Seforno was right on the doorstep. Wilhelm dribbling it a couple of times in the 18. Now Wilhelm kicks it, launches it all the way down the pitch Headed back over by Loveland, now put up high towards the center line. Played down by Templeton. Templeton trying to move it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski down the center of the pitch. Gets it over. Launched ahead by Strickler. Knocked down. Loveland trying to send it the other direction. Now Mitzel sends it back on the near wing. Wilkins trying to shake himself free. Balda watching him. Now that pulled away. Sent down the pitch. Pioneer has it. Inside their defensive third. They move that back to Wilhelm inside the 18. Now over to Berman on the far wing. Berman racing ahead with it. Berman rolls it to the center, but that launched right back behind into the 18. Berman, Van Ryan trying to move it over. Now Medina racing, sends it just to the center. Wilkins picks it up and along the near wing. Wilkins chips that all the way onto the far side. Rivera racing over to get it, but Learman knocks it back on that far touchline. Over to Strickler for Pioneer. Strickler dispossessed, but that goes right back over. Knocked back. Chuknowski grabbing it away. Chuknowski trying to feed it into Kerbaway. Now Lucas Anderson has it on the near wing. Lucas Anderson comes towards the center of the pitch. Lucas Anderson with a shot right through the American football field goal post, just about 5 foot high for the woodwork. 35-44 left to go here in the first half. Pioneer a low-scoring battle, last-second win versus Skyline. Saline, no more comfortable 4-0 win versus Huron as Behrman fires that towards the center of the center line. That pulled over on the near wing. Here comes Wilkins. Wilkins has that knocked away by Loveland. Wilkins with the throw-in. Tip back over. Racing. Then sent by Mitzel right back to the center line. Is trying to pull that away is Medina. Medina over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski makes a nifty move. Chuknowski coming down into the field, into the attacking third, puts it into the near corner, and Wilkins can't quite get to it. That will roll out the end line and will be a goal kick for Behrman. Behrman gets it set up right on the 6. Behrman set to kick that away. Again, we're 10 minutes, 30 seconds into the game here at Hornet Stadium, headed back by Chuknowski, still scoreless. That over on the near sideline as that went off of Wilkins. Out the near touchline, thrown in by the Hornets as Chuknowski trying to move it back. That loose, coming over with it is Salafina. Here comes Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson moves it back over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski rockets it that all the way down, but that will roll into the 18 and grabbed by Behrman. Behrman sets it down. Now he lifts that all the way down. Headed back by Pioneer. Lucas Anderson heads it. Now Isaac York trying to get it. Strickler for Pioneer. Gets it over to Templeton on the far touchline. Templeton over the center line. Templeton tipped by Rivera, but out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in for the Hornets. As that right back trying to work it, moved back over by Rossi, now sent down the far touchline. Rossi has it. That rocketed the other direction by Van Ryan. Knocked down, Barker feeds it into the 18, headed back over, but that goes out the near touchline. Salfuna had it and headed it, but that just over to the wide side by a few feet, and that will result in a goal kick for Pioneer. 28 minutes even left to go here in the first. Scoreless game so far. Wilhelm moving his, motioning for his players to get back. Now he sends a low line drive kick. That knocked down. Hornets trying to get to it. Over on the far side, racing over to get it. And pulled down over there by Rossi. Rossi trying to get around Strickler. Puts it into the 18 and grabbed by Wilhelm. Oh, Isaac York was right on the doorstep, but Wilhelm, again, one of the Wilhelm as well as Wilkins and Lucas Anderson, I believe, were the Pioneer 3 named to the first team SEC Red. 3 honorable mentions that we'll talk about at halftime as well. Also 4 players from Saline on the SEC Red team that was announced today. First team. Here comes Medina. Medina over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to move it back. That rolls all the way out the near touchline just before the center line. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer on the near touchline. Medina has it. Medina waiting for everyone to get in position. Now Medina with the throw-in. Trying to get it is Strickler. That moved back over. Trying to battle for it as Balda sends it ahead, and a whistle. That is going to be a restart for Saline, as they'll have a free kick. Allen has it set just inside of the middle third on the near side of the pitch. 26 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. That ball coming down on the far wing. Learman moves it ahead. That launched the other direction by Berman. Chipped by Pioneer. Allen plays it off of his body, racing over Wilkins, trying to get to it. But that played down. Here comes Loveland. Loveland over the center line. Loveland puts it in along the near touch line. Pioneer rockets it the other direction, but that out into the crowd. So that will be a throw-in for the Hornets. As coming down. Coming in for the Hornets is Gray.
Now in for Pioneer, number 21, Sori Yansane.
Yansane in for Pioneer.
Saline, number 8, Michael Bryant, and number 13,
8
Eli
Bryant
Gray.
and 13 Gray in for Saline. That ball knocked down, trying to make a move over, knocked away, all the way back to Strickler. Strickler feeding it over on the far side, bringing it ahead, then rocketed down by Rivera over on the near side to Wilkins. Wilkins coming down the near side of the pitch. He has it knocked away by Loveland. Now Wilkins gets it back on the near touchline. Wilkins has that sent out the near touchline. That is going to be a Pioneer throw-in, I believe. Wilkins on the near touchline, gets that over to Strickler, back to Wilkins. Wilkins trying to make his way to the center of the pitch. Wilkins with a shot that goes wide by about a foot to the far side. Behrman dove, but didn't outstretch his arms. I believe he saw it was going wide. That will result in a goal kick for the Hornets. 24 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless. Both teams, Saline has had a couple really good chances. Pioneer have made a couple shots as well. That pulls down. Battle for it, trying to pull it away is Kerbaway. Kerbaway racing ahead with it. Kerbaway trying to get past the line of defenders. Kerbaway has that knocked away, but picked up by Wilkins. Wilkins trying to make a move over to Chuknowski on the near side of the pitch. Chuknowski moves it back over to Kerbaway. That knocked out the near touchline by Loveland. And it should be a Pioneer throw-in as Yansane comes over to throw it in. Gets it to Wilkins on the near touchline. Wilkins working his way back over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway trying to get past. That knocked back over and fed all the way back towards the center line. Van Ryan moves it over to Yansane on the near wing. He's trying to get around Balda. And that fired over, coming ahead with it. Strickler trying to get it. That batted up high. Now Mitzel moves it over. Strickler trying to pull that back. That sent over onto the far touchline. Slid over. I believe that went down as a valiant attempt over on that far touchline by Bryant, but I believe that went out the far touchline. Will be a throw-in for Pioneer as they get it over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway trying to get past Mitzel. Back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson has Bryant right in front of him. Gets it over to Kerbaway, but that knocked over on the far touchline. Rivera trying to make a move and get around pressure. Rivera has that tipped over. Here comes Chuknowski trying to get around Balda. Now that comes back. Wilkins trying to find a spot. He has that poked away by Bryant over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski feeds it on the far side of the pitch. That grab, Templeton back over to Rivera. Rivera challenged quickly by Learman. Learman knocks it down towards the center line. That brought back over by Lucas Anderson, feeds it over to Van Ryan on his own side of the center line. Now Berman gets it over. Templeton feeds it down to Rivera. Rivera working his way on the far wing. Rivera into the attacking third. Rivera lofts it all the way on to the near side. Here comes Wilkins. Wilkins gets the center of the pitch, and that rocketed away by Mitzel. Mitzel, I believe, was on the first team as well. Collision as players went down. That fired all the way back, batted by Allen. Now Balda has that knocked away by Strickler, but that will roll out the near touchline, and Loveland with the throw-in. 21 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far.
For Pioneer, number 30, Abdu Kaba.
Kaba comes in for Pioneer.
For Saline, number 7, Ben O'Neill.
O'Neill comes in for Saline.
16, Sean Courtney.
As well as Courtney in for Saline, as Jan Sang trying to get that whistle, and that will be a restart for Saline right on the near, just inside the near touchline on their own side of the center line. As Allen rolls it back over. Allen with a strong leg has boomed it down the field several times. This one no exception as he gets it into the 18. That headed back and goes to the far side. Grabbed by Wilhelm as he had pressure. Saline with the player trying to get the number, and just keeping his shoulder to me, but Saline had a player right down inside the 18 waiting for that Wilhelm with a good job. That headed up by Allen. Now playing it, Lucas Anderson trying to feed it past a pair of defenders, bringing it ahead. That knocked away by the Hornets. Back to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson trying to get around Barker. Templeton feeds it down the far touchline and out. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer as that went off of one of the Saline defenders. Batted up high, right to the center line, but that will get moved back over. As that ball moved back over. That will be an offsides call, by the way, on Pioneers, so that ball will be set. And Behrman to kick it away on that far side of the pitch. Behrman lofts that up high, back into the Pioneer defensive third. And right along the far touchline, battle for it there, Lucas Anderson. Volleys it up high. Strickler trying to get to it. Strickler trying to make a move, gets it back over. And coming ahead with it, that rolled down over and sent ahead by Learman. Now gathered in by Courtney. Courtney puts it over on the far side, as that's Bryant who puts it ahead. Now Van Ryan has it on the far wing. That sent all the way back to the center line, sent ahead by Strickler, knocked the other direction by Learman. Now Jan Sain trying to head it back the other direction. Gathered in by Courtney. Just over the center line on the Pioneers side. Chuknowski watching that, but that lifted up high into the far corner. Berman trying to launch it the other direction. And brought back in by Bryant, now knocked down. Launching over on the far wing. As Templeton ended up going down, and that is going to be a Pioneer with a kick. Just outside of their own defensive third. 18 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in the first. Berman sends that deep, trying to get it over to Rivera. Rivera on the far touchline in the attacking third. That goes out. Pioneer with the throw-in.
Now in for Pioneer, number 12, Lillian Seinfeld-Chop.
Seinfeld-Chop in for Pioneer.
16, Lucas Medina.
Medina back in for Pioneer as well.
And for Saline, number 21, Jaden Safuna.
Safuna in for Saline. Jan Sain with the throw-in on the far touchline. That into the 18, but then kicked up high by Allen. Puts it on the far side of the pitch. Yansing trying to get to that. Kaba now with it. Kaba gets it back to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson coming over on the near side. Lucas Anderson trying to feed it past a couple defenders. Over to Wilkins. Wilkins heads towards the center of the pitch. Wilkins chips it into the 18, but that grabbed. Oh, Behrman grabs it as Kaba was bearing down trying to get to that ball, but Behrman quickly grabs it, and now he'll just roll it out just outside of the 18. No one coming over to challenge. Now he wafts that ball all the way down. Van Ryan gets it over to Wilkins on the near wing. Wilkins heads back upfield. Now launches it over onto the far sideline or far touch line. Brought back over. Learman trying to get to it. Seinfeld Chop trying to grab it. Now Jan Saint right on that far wing. Jan Saint trying to get it ahead to Strickler. Strickler gets it over. That moved Seinfeld Chop over to Chuknowski. Seinfeld Chop gets it back. He gets that knocked away by Learman, but Seinfeld Chop battles, gets it right back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson coming down. Lucas Anderson, that knocked off of Strickler. And it rolls back over to the center line, picked up now. Heading the other way is Salfuna. Salfuna launches it all the way deep into the Pioneer 18, grabbed by Wilhelm there. 16 minutes even left to go here in the first. Scoreless game so far. Wilhelm dribbles the ball like a basketball in the 18 now. Lifts a high, kind of shorter arcing ball that had a lot of spin to it. Racing over to get it is Wilkins. Wilkins trying to make his way past O'Neill. O'Neill spins on it, and I think a little push will create a foul on Pioneer. So that will be kicked away by Allen, as Allen will set that just inside of his own defensive third. But Allen to launch it down the field. Jacobson look set to come in. Getting last minute instructions by Coach Sunderman. That ball over onto the into the near corner. Pioneer trying to hold it in as they keep it in. That rocketed, centered up by O'Neill. Moved back over onto the far wing at the top of the attacking third. Launched by Saline, headed by Ryan, trying to get it the other way, and then that's sent out the end line. That will be a goal kick for Pioneer. The ball set right at the 6.
Now
Wilhelm has it there.
Pioneer, number 19, Micah Jacobson. And in for Saline,
Jacobson
number
in
9,
for
Isaac
Pioneer.
York, and number 20,
Isaac
Juan
Yorkin,
Martin Balda.
as well as Balda for Saline. Wilhelm has it set right at the 6. Back over along the end line. Wilhelm wafts that down as Jan Sang trying to get to it. That pulled back over onto the far wing. Coming ahead with it is Barker. Barker trying to make a move. Jan Sang ended up on the pitch and then knocked out the end line by Seinfeld Chop, trying to stop the Saline attack. 14 minutes even left to go before halftime. Scoreless so far as Saline has a corner in the far corner. I believe that's Baker taking the
Saline
corner.
corner kick by number 10, Drew Barker.
Barker, excuse me. Back, it was wrong on the website, so I memorized it wrong. Barker over on the far side. That lofted by Mitzel. Back over to Barker. Barker trying to get it into the 18. That knocked down by Lucas Anderson, who lofts it the other direction. That bounces into the middle third. Strickler moves it over the center line, coming ahead with it. Trying to get to it is Wilkins. Wilkins gets tangled up as he and O'Neill get tangled up. Wilkins goes down, whistle blown. And they're going to say that Wilkins, coming from behind, traded the contact, and therefore it will be kicked away by Saline. As that's sent all the way down, knocked down over on the near side. As Salfuna has that knocked out the near touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in as Medina on the near touchline with the throw-in. Medina gets it back. Medina lifts it ahead, trying to get to it over on the near side, over to Wilkins. Wilkins has that knocked away as Wilkins was trying to feed it to Strickler, but Allen Knocked it out the near touchline. Medina again with the throw-in. This time a little closer to the center line. Medina lifts that ahead for Kaba. Kaba trying to get it back over to Wilkins. That pull back as Salfuna has it, knocks it all the way down on the near touchline. Van Ryan trying to knock it away, as that is going to be a free kick here inside the attacking third. The Pioneer fans let folks know what they think about that. As body contact made a couple times recently, both of those going the Hornets' way. And the official has a better view of it than I do. This a dangerous shot for Barker. Two-person wall by Pioneer. Barker just lofts it up. That headed out. Now brought back over. Headed right back, trying to knock it down is Medina. Medina lifts that down the pitch, as that will go over on the Saline side of midfield. Brought back over is Lepore. Sends it to Behrman. Behrman lifts that down the pitch. Headed back over. Now Saline has it moved over onto the near touchline. Knocked away by Wilkins. That goes out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for the Hornets. 10 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in the first half. Scoreless so far, as diving to try and get that header. Valiant attempt by Medina, but that moved ahead by Pioneer. Allen knocks it down onto the near wing. That goes right into the stands. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer, as more out onto the pitch for Pioneer. Medina had headed back over. Medina racing, trying to get it back over to Moore. And that launched into the Saline faithful by O'Neill. Medina with another throw-in on the near touchline as we approach the 10-minute mark. 3/4 the way through the first half. Here comes Kaba. Kaba launches it over onto the far sideline. Seinfeld chop trying to get it before it goes out the touchline. That will go out, and Saline with the throw-in, as that will be Learman to throw it in. Headed back over by Jan Sain. Kaba trying to chip it into the 18, but headed away by Allen. Now Lucas Anderson trying to get it ahead. O'Neill knocks it out of the 18. Racing ahead is Van Ryan. That pulled back down, batted towards the center line, a whistle. It'll be a kick for Saline, as Allen will have it. About 12 yards from the center line. Allen raises his hands, puts his right foot into it. That lands just inside the 18. Headed back over by Berman onto the far side. Jan Sain sends it down the far wing. Battling on that far wing, Mitzel puts it right on the far touchline. Jan Sain trying to knock that away. That will go out the far touchline. As that is going to be a throw-in. No, it's going to be a restart, a free kick for Saline. Barker with it just inside of the far touchline, about 10 yards into the attacking third for the Hornets. 8:15 left to go here in the first. Barker raises his hands. Now Barker chips that into the 18, tipped by Wilhelm as he helps it out the end line. That will result in a corner kick for the Hornets, as they'll have another set piece, this time from the near corner. Barker over to kick that one away. Barker just slowly moves it over to O'Neill. O'Neill lofts it into the 18, headed back by Medina, and trying to get it more. puts it up high as that comes down the near side of the pitch over the center line, headed back the other direction. That will go out the near line, as that was Larson who headed it for the Hornets. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. Medina with the throw in on the near touchline. Medina puts that over to Kaba. Kaba trying to work his way past traffic, then booted back by Allen. Headed up, trying to move it over is Lucas Anderson, but that brought back by Isaac York right to the center line. Mitzel now over on the near side of the pitch. That knocked away. Good defense by Medina, but it goes out the near touchline. O'Neill has it right in front of the Pioneer bench. That knocked down by Moore, goes right out the near touchline again. That will be, again, a throw-in. This time it's going to be Barker on the throw-in. Barker trying to loft it. That headed up high by Lucas Anderson. Now Kaba puts it over his shoulder, trying to play back to it. Barker moves it over, and O'Neill fires it into the attacking third for Saline. Over on the near side of the pitch, that goes out. And somehow that went off of a Pioneer player. And is trying to get to that. Salfuna. That in by Barker. Knocked away by Van Ryan. Moore has it knocked away by Barker as Jan Singh gets it out. And now Lucas Anderson trying to get it out of the defensive third for Pioneer. Brian over, or no, that's Isaac York over on the far touchline. That's sent back. Pioneer racing over to get it is Jacobson. Jacobson moves it ahead, but that out the far touchline. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless so far from Hornet Stadium. Allen grabs it. Allen trying to move it ahead. That slips back into the Pioneer defensive third. Van Ryan comes over to get it. Van Ryan trying to work his way around Salfuna. That goes out the near touchline. Barker with the throw in. Templeton and Rivera back in for Pioneer. As Bryant in for the Hornets.
Now in for
as he'll replace Isaac York.
Templeton and number 17, Diego Rivera.
As that right into the 18, knocked away by Van Ryan. Racing over on the far side, trying to pull it away as Rivera from Bryant. Bryant puts it into the far corner, trying to get it over to Rossi. Rossi moves it back up, but that out the far touchline. Pioneer knocked it away, so that will be a throw-in for the Hornets as Bryant with the throw-in on the far touchline. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. As into the 18, that headed over and knocked away by Moore. Moore, and moved back now. Here comes Kaba with it. Kaba lifts that over to the center line. Kerbaway trying to get to it, but Allen moves it ahead. That brought back as Barker over to O'Neill. O'Neill puts it down the near side of the pitch. Lucas Anderson chasing it. Now Van Ryan tries to send it the other direction. Knocked down, coming ahead with it. Over on the near side was Balda. And it's sent back. And Kerbaway feeds it. He goes down. Allen puts it over onto the far side. Racing ahead of it was Templeton. Templeton trying to get it back to the center line, but that volleyed right back deep by the Hornets. Trying to keep it in on that far side. It goes out. Should be last touched by Bryant. Pioneer should have the throw-in.
Now in for Pioneer number 6, Rafa Carrillo.
Carrillo comes in for Pioneer.
Number 10.
As well as Chuknowski.
Chuknowski.
As Templeton gets it in, trying to get to Jacobson. That moved back over as Learman had it. Touched right back. O'Neill has that spin right by the center line. That'll go out. And Pioneer with the throw-in. Moore has it. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go here in the first. Still scoreless. Medina tosses it into Moore. Moore Back to Medina, just inside of the center line. Medina puts it down the near touchline, trying to get it back. That lifted back the other direction by Mitzel. Now Chuknowski trying to move it over to Jacobson. Jacobson over to Carrillo. Now Moore trying to get it before it goes out and couldn't quite keep it in. Valiant attempt by Moore, but it still had too much momentum. Went out the end line, and that will result in a goal kick by Behrman. Behrman has it set at the 6. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left to go here in the first. Behrman arcs that ahead right at the center line. Here comes Pioneer moving it back over. Carrillo gets it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to get away from traffic. Now Van Ryan moves that back over to Wilhelm in his 18, and Wilhelm launches it deep down the pitch. Allen over Kerbaway's back, and Van Ryan sends it over on the far touchline. Jacobson trying to get to it. That's sent down the pitch before Jacobson could get it. Now Rivera sending it over. O'Neill intercepts that and launches it the other direction. Played down. Rossi has it over. Knocked away by Van Ryan. Van Ryan moves it ahead. Here comes Jacobson. Jacobson trying to avoid pressure as Jacobson moves it ahead, trying to get it over to Rivera. Rivera moves it. That launch down and out the far touchline. 1 minute left to go here in the first half. Scoreless so far. Pioneer has it over on the far wing, just inside the center line. Gets it into the attacking third as Rivera has it on the far wing. Moves it back over. That launched into the 18. Kerbaway trying to get ahead on it. Pulled down over by Moore. Moore moves it back. And sent back over by Rossi. Rossi back to his defensive pairing. Now that rocketed ahead. Stopped right at the center line. Here comes Carrillo. Carrillo right at the Saline logo has that knocked down. Barker moves it back, and now Mitzel puts it down on the far wing. Stopped by Berman over there. Berman brings it down on the far side of the pitch. Berman launches it into the attacking third. 7 seconds left to go, and Pioneer trying to send it ahead. I believe that would have been offsides anyway. Here comes a shot. Moore with the header, and scoreless at halftime. We'll step away, play a few messages from the MHSAA. Then we will be right back to talk a little bit about, again, the SEC Red First Team and honorable mentions.
Injury prevention along
As let's take a moment, step away.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
All right, as we are about halfway through halftime here, scoreless at half. Let's go over the SEC Red first team here. A couple Saline players as Christian Rossi for Saline on the first team SEC Red, as well as Luke Allen and Drew Barker, as well as Connor Mitzel were the four Saline players. The three Pioneer players on the SEC Red first team were Zach Wilhelm, Lucas Anderson, and Tyler Wilkins on the first team. Other first team players was Osemacher from Dexter, Baker from Huron, Silkworth from Skyline, Manungo for Skyline, Swinky for Monroe, Oberski from Temperance Bedford, Chowdhury for Huron, Alderman for Skyline, and Lacey for Skyline. The honorable mentions, Pioneer had, let's do Saline first. Honorable mentions, Behrman from Saline, Learman from Saline, Safuna from Saline. I don't know how that didn't end up getting on my roster since he's an honorable mention, but that's all right. As well as Isaac York for Saline. For Pioneer, the honorable mentions were Rivera, Strickler, and Kerbaway. And then the other honorable mentions for Dexter was Doletsky and Uripi. For Skyline, Unsworth. For Bedford, Wagenhauser. Also for Bedford, Allison. For Monroe, Dunn. For Huron, Nakansa Ando, also for Huron, Coyote, and Garduno for Huron. For Lincoln, it was Davison Allison, and for Lincoln, it was Garisco. And for Dexter, it was Gattino. Coach of the Year was Ryan Williams for Saline. Over on the SEC White side, Pinckney had 5 players over on the SEC Whites. M.I., Keene, Newman, Johnson, and Bickworth for Pinckney. For Tecumseh, Wild, Loudermilk. For Jackson, it was Chiracle. For Adrian, it was Smith and Spagnoli. For Ipsy, it was Mahmood. For Chelsea, it was Kruger, McKenzie, and Orts Martinez. Honorable mentions from Pinckney. Frazzini, Reagan, Prince, and Bloom for Pinckney. For Tecumseh, it was Anderson and Kantz. For Jackson, it was Barkholz and Heslu. For Adrian, it was Solis and Hanso, as well as Wojcik. For Ypsilanti, it was Figurino, as well as Spiller, Grossman, and Kallmeyer. And for Chelsea, it was Cox, Conlon, and Ashton. Coach of the Year was Seth Grace for Pinckney. And that is your M Live reporting for the SEC Red and SEC White first teams. We have 2 minutes 55 seconds counting down as let's play a little push on and a couple more messages from the MHSAA. We will be right back with your second half action, still scoreless at the half between Pioneer and Saline as the District 10 trophy on the line.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. As we are coming to the end of halftime, as there is the horn getting ready to get back out. Pioneer did move the ball down. It felt like Saline maybe had it over on the Pioneer side a bit more, but Pioneer had a couple good chances. Saline with a couple beauties that Wilhelm had to come up big. Pioneer now going from left to right here in the second half. As we are getting ready to go. The Pioneer students moved across the way as they are hopping up and down. Good student section for the Pioneer game. As the officials talking things over at the center. Now they get things set. Rossi set to get things going for the Hornets. Again, district title on the line. And the ability to advance to the regionals.
As that launch down by Mitzel. Taken, coming ahead with it is Templeton. Templeton trying to get it ahead to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson moves it, that headed back by Learman. Over the center stripe. Now back Van Ryn trying to get it that into the near corner, bringing it ahead, knocked away out the near touchline by Templeton. Gray had it, trying to get around the corner. Templeton able to knock it out. That will be a throw-in on the near touchline for the Hornets. As Barker with the throw-in. Barker launches it, that knocked down and knocked away. Wilhelm diving. Oh, that was a dangerous throw as Barker with lots of strength got it right inside, and that good job, I believe that was Berman, to knock it down and get it out. So good opportunity for Saline. That moved ahead by Strickler. Now Strickler trying to get it away from Mitzel. As Chuknowski puts it over on the far side. Here comes Kerboy. Kerboy coming down. He's dispossessed. Coming the other direction is Balda. Now knocked down by, or pulled away by Chuknowski. Chuknowski puts it down on the near side. Trying to get over is Wilhelm. Ball wouldn't settle down for him. Knocked away as Chuknowski was trying to get to a good defensive play down there by Allen again, who moved that away. 38 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in the second half. That brought in Lucas Anderson, heads it back now, taking it over on the near side. Kerboy trying to get to it. That slid out. Mitzel puts it out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in by Templeton on the near touchline. Templeton trying to loft it high in the 18. Now he moves it just over. As Kerboy sent it back to him, that launched high, headed back by Gray. Now here comes Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson over to Chuknowski, back to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson trying to get around as Barker leaped ahead, trying to make it tough. They move it over onto the far wing. That chipped and arced over, headed into the 18 and grabbed by Behrman. Behrman has it inside of his own 18, 37 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Behrman rolls it out of the 18. Now Behrman launches it all the way down the field, played ahead by Pioneer, trying to get to it over on the near wing is Rivera. Rivera brings it down the near side of the pitch. Rivera. Oh, and that went right off of Mitzel. As Mitzel with a good block, couldn't have felt good. Templeton has it on the near touchline. Templeton gets it back over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson right on the near touchline, back to Templeton. Templeton trying to get around pressure by the Hornets. Templeton feeds it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski blasts it, and it goes in! It's trying to get it. Behrman tips it, but a beautiful, perfect shot by Chuknowski puts it in, and Pioneer takes the lead here in the second, 1-0. By a blast by Chuknowski. That at 36. 34. Chuknowski. As number 10, Chuknowski. That was, you couldn't have placed that any more perfectly. Behrman has been fantastic all game long, but that was placed perfectly. Every once in a while, you'll put something just right where there's not much the defense can do about it. 36-34 left to go here in the second. Well, the first game between these two teams back in August, that had a total of 10 points. It was 6-4 Saline. The second one was a lot less. That was a 1-0 win by Pioneer here on this field. As the official comes out, then blows the whistle, Saline gets things back going over to Learman. Learman moves it up just shy of the center of the pitch. Lucas Anderson brings it back, and that is going to be, they're going to have that a restart, a free kick by the Hornets as Behrman has it back inside of his own defensive third. As he'll feed it back over on the far side of the pitch. Racing over Wilkins trying to get it. That will go out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in. As this Pioneer fan base energized here at Hornet Stadium, Kerboy trying to get away from heavy defensive pressure. Over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson moves it ahead, trying to get to it. That knocked away as Loveland had it. Now Gray moves it over, but Lucas Anderson puts it right back on that far side of the pitch. Brought ahead by the Hornets as they send it all the way down into the Pioneer defensive third. Van Ryan trying to get around, but Rossi over there. That goes out. That will be a throw-in for the Hornets. Barker with the throw-in. 35 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in the second. Lots of time. Pioneer up 1-0. Barker with the throw-in on the far touchline. That headed back by Templeton. Barker lets it hit just on that far touchline. Barker trying to get across. That knocked away. Trying to pull it away is Medina over to Chuknowski. Now that's sent back to Strickler. Strickler moves it, and that goes out the far touchline. Couldn't quite get to Wilkins. That will be a throw-in for the Hornets on the far touchline. As that headed back over and out the near touchline. They'll say Pioneer touched that last. As brought back over by Mitzel. Mitzel has Strickler challenging him. Coming up on the near touchline. Bryant sends it back. Moved ahead by Learman, but that goes out the near touchline. Learman with the throw-in. Learman trying to get that back over. Van Ryan feeds it ahead. Here comes Rivera. Rivera trying to get around Learman. Rivera has that knocked away by Mitzel. And Lucas Anderson battling. And chipped ahead by Bryant into the 18. Wilhelm goes down trying to grab it. And over on the far side. I believe Wilhelm was a little bit of friendly fire as he ended up going down off of his shoulder. There is a Saline player down in the 18. So we'll have the clock stopped as a Saline player slowly getting up. That's Isaac York as he is being attended to. As York is up, little ginger on that right leg, but he's moving under his own power. We're very, very grateful to see that. You love every single one of these players giving 110%, but you don't want to see any of these young athletes injured. So Isaac York comes slowly off the field limping. We hope he'll be all right. Now we'll see what happens. The officials talking things over. As there was a collision and one of the Pioneer players ended up going into Wilhelm. The officials talking to Allen down there as well as Lucas Anderson. And I do not envy the officials making this decision, as they're going to set a... Now this is not at the penalty spot, so Pioneer can have players inside the 18 as they determine, again, any contact. And that pull back and out to kick it is Rossi. Yellow card shown over to the Saline coaches. as that makes the Saline students unhappy. As again, tough decision, lots of bodies colliding over there, and hard to tell kind of who did what. As the official talking to the Saline coaching staff now. As it looks like, again, just outside of the 18 is going to be a kick by Rossi. Pioneer has a wall up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the wall as we are getting ready here to have a free kick. Pioneer up 1-0, but a opportunity for a free kick here well into the attacking third for the Hornets. It's both fan bases, lots of students here letting their voices be heard, and that hit, and that goes high. That's not an easy shot, trying to get it lofted over the wall and back behind, and maybe a little bit of adrenaline in a key situation that just coursed through, and that ended up going about 5 foot high. Wilhelm to kick it away. You think it's an easy situation, free kick inside the attacking third. It is absolutely not. 33 minutes left to go here in the second, as that kicked over onto and out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in. Pioneer with the 1-0 lead here at Hornet Stadium, here at the District 10 final. That's sent in, trying to get it. That will go out the far touchline. Balda last touching it, or I thought. Nope, they'll say Saline ball. As that launched into the defensive third for Pioneer. Headed back over by Van Ryan. Now that launched by Berman right to the center line. Pulled back, trying to move it over. Strickler feeds it, and that sent all the way deep. Rivera on the near side of the pitch, trying to get around Learman. Learman puts it up, and that into the crowd. That will bounce around, and a couple youngsters will send that over to one of the ball wranglers. Quickly with the throw in, back over to Rivera. Rivera launches it ahead to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson moves it back just inside the center line. Berman feeds it all the way down onto the center of the pitch. Wilkins trying to get it. That launched back. Pioneer collects it as Medina puts it onto the far wing. Wilkins trying to spin around. He got caught up. That moved back over, and Lucas Anderson comes to challenge. Learman puts it over the center line. Rossi moves it back over. Barker feeds it right into the attacking third. Ryan puts it up, and that goes out the near sideline into the Saline bench. 31 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. As the throw in by Learman. Getting it over, making a move is Barker. Barker sends it to the center of the pitch, moving over onto the near wing is Balda. Balda back to Barker. Barker trying to get it into the 18. That will roll out the end line. Rossi was right there, close to offsides. Ball out the end line. That will be a goal kick by Wilhelm. 30 minutes, 35 seconds left to go. Wilhelm raises his hands. Wilhelm. Launch right towards the center line. Balda pulls it over. Balda and Chuknowski challenging. And right onto the center, headed by Templeton. Grabbed by Barker. Barker gets it over, trying to get it to Bryant. Rivera challenging. Now Templeton trying to pull it away from Bryant. As that pulled down by Learman. Learman pops it up high in the air. Strickler heads it back. Grabbed down by Mitzel. Mitzel has it headed away by Templeton. Now Strickler had it moved back. Grabbed by Chuknowski. Chuknowski over to Lucas Anderson. Knocked away by Bryant. Bryant trying to get it away from Templeton. Templeton gets it all the way down, but that goes out the near touchline right into the Pioneer bench. Kerboy trying to keep it in, but unable to. Learman now with the throw in. Lucas Anderson trying to knock it down. Brought over by Rivera. Mitzel challenging, gets it back over. Now coming down, Balda all the way over onto the far side of the pitch for Loveland. Loveland moves it over and sent back by Balda, trying to get it ahead to Allen. Now into the far corner. That goes out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw in. 29 minutes left to go. Here in the second, Pioneer up 1-0. Templeton with the throw in. That off of Strickler out the far touchline. That'll be a throw in for the Hornets. Barker doing the honors on the far touchline. He had to throw in a little further in the attacking third. There really was a beautiful chance for the Hornets. He had some power on these throw-ins. As substitution, Carrillo comes in for Lucas Anderson.
For Pioneer, number 6, Rafa Carrillo. And in for Saline, number 2, Jackson Phillips.
Phillips in for the Hornets. 28 minutes, 26 seconds left to go as Van Ryn trying to head it out of the defensive third. That over on the far touchline. Sent ahead by Loveland. Now pulled down. Chuknowski, the lone goal scorer, trying to move it ahead. Sent right back into the Pioneer defensive third. Here comes Strickler. Strickler over the center line. Strickler gets it ahead over on the near side to Rivera. Rivera trying to get into the 18. That moved out the near touchline. As a good job by Lepore to challenge. Graydon with the throw in and brought back down. Right at the center of the pitch, trying to get it over is Chuknowski. Over on the far touchline, bringing it ahead. Here comes the Hornets as it moved. Knocked back the other way by Pioneer. Rivera tips it as Mitzel moves it back over. Lepore had it, now brought ahead by Wilkins. Wilkins over to Rivera. Rivera gets it back. Carrillo over on the far side of the pitch. Kerbaway trying to keep it in, moves it back over. Kerbaway coming down on that far side of the pitch as he has that knocked away by Loveland. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer on the far touchline.
Now in for Pioneer, number 12, Ilian Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, Chop, and Kaba in for
30,
Pioneer.
Abdu Kaba.
As Medina over to Carrillo, back to Medina. Medina with the centering attempt. Good job to knock it away by Learman. Now moving over Templeton. Templeton trying to get it into the 18. That went high and just a little wide. Good attempt. That will lead to a goal kick by Behrman. Behrman puts it past the middle line. Trying to knock it back over. Pioneer heads it up, then headed the other direction. Nice volley by Saline. Berman brings it back into his defensive third. Wilhelm now launches it all the way down. Kerbaway heads it back, trying to get to Kaba. Now that lifted right to the center line, played down by Phillips, pulled away by Rivera. Rivera brings it down on the near side of the pitch. Rivera trying to get it into the attacking third. Rivera puts it high, and that grab by Behrman. Behrman, excellent job. Just quickly throws it out onto the far side of the pitch. As that moved over, pulled down and fired ahead. Chuknowski trying to get it the other direction. Kaba feeds it ahead to Kerbaway. Kerbaway challenged over there by Lepore. Now here comes Kaba trying to get it over as that shot just goes wide and out the touchline, or grabbed. As a good job by Behrman. Kerboy trying to get a good shot at it. And Behrman going down and Pioneer avoiding contact. That is going to be turning into a corner.
By number 12,
As Seinfeld Chop with the first set piece of the second half headed, and that a little too much power over onto the near side. Seinfeld Chop trying to get to it. That goes out. That will be another corner for Pioneers. Seinfeld Chop take another whack at it.
Another corner kick for Pioneer by Ilian Seinfeld Chop.
Pioneer running into the 18. That knocked away by Behrman and deflected. Good defensive play. Moved all the way out. Now fired in by Chuknowski. That got knocked away by defender. And pulled back. And coming ahead with it, here comes Salafuna. Salafuna pulls it back. Knocked away. Trying to get it as Phillips. And tell all the players giving it every bit of their energy as players ending up on the pitch. Chuknowski having a discussion with the official. Sefuna. As Pioneer kicks things down. And that grabbed on the far wing. Sent right back by the middle piece. "23 minutes left to go here in the second. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. That ball back just on the Pioneer side of the center line. Barker set to kick it away for the Hornets. Barker, that bounces, headed back over by Pioneer, now running the other direction. Here comes Pioneer racing down the far wing. Is Kerbaway. Kerbaway gets tangled up, goes down, and that launched the other direction by Barker all the way back. That rolls into the 18, grabbed by Wilhelm. Wilhelm, pressure coming. Wilhelm grabs it as Rossi providing the pressure, forcing Wilhelm to pick it up. Wilhelm grabs it. Wilhelm arcs it down the field. And played off a body onto the near side. Learman feeds it ahead. That comes over. Templeton bats it up, trying to avoid Phillips. Over Rivera trying to get to it. Barker moves it. Here comes Balda. Balda down the center of the pitch. Balda gets it over to Rossi. Rossi, and moved all the way down and sent out the far touchline. Barker will throw it in from the far touchline. 21 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the second. Barker with the throw in on that far touchline.
For Pioneer, number 18, Tyler Wilkins.
Wilkins in for Pioneer.
Saline, number 7, Ben O'Neill.
O'Neill in for Saline.
Sean Courtney.
As well as Courtney. As that ball brought ahead, here comes Kerboy. Kerboy trying to get past the defense. Kerboy makes a nifty move, and O'Neill trying to get it, and that into the far corner and out the end line. As Kerboy trying to make a move, O'Neill held him up enough to force that to go past, but that will be a corner for Pioneer as Chuknowski over to take the corner. 20 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. As Chuknowski puts it up high, trying to get to it. Seinfeld chop. Seinfeld chop. That goes wide. Ends up hitting the flagpole. That will be a goal kick for Behrman.
Now in for Pioneer, number 8.
Lucas Anderson back in for Pioneer. He comes in and gives Chuknowski the goal scorer rest. And over the center line, Lucas Anderson trying to get to it. That pull back. Lucas Anderson lifts it down the pitch. Rocketed the other direction by Saline. Trying to hold it down. Moved back over. Medina trying to avoid pressure. As that will go over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop out the far touchline. That off of a Saline player. Safuna had a good play down there, and Pioneer able to just knock it away. Pioneer lifted in, headed up high by Mitzel. Now played back down. Medina puts a high arcing ball up. O'Neill plays it back. Now Seinfeld Chop on that far touchline. Seinfeld Chop trying to get around Courtney. That goes out the far touchline, and that'll be a throw-in for the Hornets. 18 minutes, 55 seconds left to go here in the second half. Pioneer up by a goal as Allen trying to speed it into the 18, knocked down. Trying to move it over, that pulled back. Now coming up as a collision there. Pioneer pops up as Templeton went down. He got up. Learman comes over on the near touchline, knocked down by Phillips. 18 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Throw in for Pioneer. Templeton trying to get it over to Kaba. And knocked away by O'Neill. Headed by Pioneer on the far side of the pitch, bringing it ahead. Coming over is Courtney. Lucas Anderson challenging Allen. Now trying to bring it back. Pulled back over by Courtney. Now launched down. Over on the near side by Laporte. Here comes Lucas Anderson. That played down. Off the body by Saline. Headed back by Templeton as that was Mitzel getting it. Now Learman trying to fire it deep into the Pioneer defensive third. Trying to make a move over was Allen. Allen gets it over to Phillips on the near touchline. Phillips challenged by Wilkins. Now that blasted by Learman. Grabbed by, excellent job by Wilhelm. Pressure right in the 18. Wilhelm grabbed it and came down. 17-10 left to go here in the second half. Kaba trying to get it away from Mitzel. And moved ahead by Laporte. Grabbing it is Phillips. Phillips moves it over onto the far side. Courtney right over the Saline logo, trying to get to Phillips on the near side. That brought ahead by Learman. Learman trying to get into the attacking third. Learman moves it right back to the center line. Kerbaway trying to get to it, but there was a whistle. Saline with the restart. Barker to kick it away. 16 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Here in the second, Pioneer up 1-0. Barker raises his hand. Barker, that headed up by Templeton, and that'll go out the end line. That'll be a corner for the Hornets. Barker over to kick the corner from the far corner.
Michael Bryant, number 13, Eli Gray.
Bryant in,
number 20,
as well as Gray and Balda all in for Saline.
It'll be a Saline corner kick.
Substitutions in. Barker gets it set where he wants. Barker Low line drive kick. Allen with it. Now Van Ryan knocks it away. That knocked up and high by Lucas Anderson. Coming over onto the near wing is Allen. That'll go out the near touchline. That will be a throw-in for the Hornets. Barker dangerous on the throw-in here. As one of Barker's throw-ins, really Pioneer able to get it out. That inside the 18, good job to knock it away by Kaba. Now Learman puts it over onto the near side. Good job by Templeton to come over and knock away a Barker blast. Barker again with the throw-in on the near touchline. 14:35 left to go here in the second half. Pioneer up by a single goal.
Lucas
Strickler comes in, giving Kerb away a breather. O'Neal back in for Saline. Barker puts everything into it, gets it into the 18, pulled back. At blast by Mitzel, goes out the end line. That'll be a goal kick for Pioneer with 14 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here in the second. Wilhelm gets it set on the 6. Wilhelm motioning his players to get back further. Now Wilhelm. Line drives it down the pitch. Barker knocks it down. Allen blasts it high. Van Ryan trying to get to it. That comes over onto the near wing. Battle for it. Knocked out the near touchline by Berman, trying to get it away from Rossi. As that is going to be a throw-in. Saline said it like it was a free kick. That's going to be a throw-in by Barker on the near touchline. Barker trying to get it deep in the 18. That headed away by Van Ryan. Headed right back into the 18. Wilhelm dives down, grabs it, and very good job there because right in front, is that Rossi or is that Courtney? Trying to see. He has his shoulder to me. I believe that was Rossi in there. Trying to make it tough on Pioneer. That headed back over. Wilkins trying to knock it down. Now Cobb is sending it over. And sent down the near touchline by Learman. Now Berman trying to knock it away. That headed back the other direction by Mitzel. Now Wilkins feeds it ahead, trying to get to it. Strickler makes a move. Strickler with the shot. That goes just high and wide. That'll be a goal kick for Berriman. Berriman quickly with urgency moves it ahead, then sent back. Saline O'Neal gets it over the center line. Rossi is challenging Van Ryan, trying to get that away. And pulled away by Carrillo. Carrillo gets challenged. That brought back. Knocking it, Medina right to the center line. Now O'Neal trying to send it right back. That on the far side of the pitch. Here comes Strickler. Strickler on the far touchline trying to keep it in. And Strickler still trying to get it over to Seinfeld Chop. As that is going to be out the far touchline, I believe. That is going to be a throw-in, as I did think that went out the far touchline. Blasted all the way back deep into the middle third on the Pioneer side of midfield. Headed up by Strickler. Strickler trying to come down with it. Strickler gets it over to Wilkins. Wilkins chips it, trying to get it to Kaba. Now that move down onto the far wing. Seinfeld Chop challenged by O'Neal, and O'Neal sends it out the far touchline. Again, O'Neal has been very, very good defensively. Same with Allen. 11 minutes left to go here in the second. Chuknowski in for Pioneer. Jacobson in for Pioneer, as well as Moore.
And in for Saline, number 21, Jaden Safuna.
Safuna in for Saline. He has had a couple moments where he's had some beautiful balls and making some moves. As Jacobson trying to get it, O'Neal trying to knock that away. That goes right out. The far touchline quickly thrown in, back over to Jacobson. Jacobson right on that far corner. Tipped out. Moore with the throw-in on the far touchline. 10 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. That knocked down by Saline. Brought ahead. Down on the far wing, Medina has it. That goes out the far touchline. Pioneer with the throw-in. Medina has it on the far touchline. Now that brought back over, and that will actually be Saline with it. As that headed up by Moore. Now sent by Balda. Trying to get it deep. Played down. Moved over by moved over by Barker. Now that's Balda putting it into the 18. Headed and in. Offsides, though. Was it in or was that offsides? That was offsides. As offsides called right at the 8-yard line. As the official goes over to talk it over, I did think from this vantage point that Allen got back behind the defense before the ball got there, but again, I don't have the best vantage point from up here, so I trust in the officials. As if you've been watching the docu-series Welcome to Wrexham, you always know to look for the flag for the offsides, as a couple times the new owners of Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds and Rob Bacalani, super excited only to have their celebrations delayed by an offsides. As 9:21 left to go here in the second. Good ball movement by Saline, though, to get it down, and now Wilhelm comes over. Pioneer gathered up. Both teams talking to each other. Gathered right on the edge of their defensive thirds. Saline breaks the huddle. Behrman is close to the midfield line. Now Wilhelm goes back. The officials talking things over with both of the coaches here on the near side. As the official now coming over, as he's going to come over on into the near corner to talk things over. Well, Saline has definitely poured on the gas and really not ratcheted up the pressure, as they've kept a lot of energy going, but the last several minutes they have really, obviously with only 9 minutes 21 seconds left to go, Saline desperate for that equalizer to get everything even. Pioneer wants to keep that ball down on the other side of the pitch, and if at all possible, get an insurance goal. District title on District 10 final here. District 10 on the line, a trip to the regionals, as that's batted up high right at the center line, as Jacobson ends up going over and falling down. That's going to be a kick for Pioneer. As 8 minutes 45 seconds left to go, as that's Berman to kick it away. As that's hit into the 18, grabbed as Learman lets it go. Behrman picks it up on the edge of the 18, rolls it over to Learman. Learman coming down the near wing. Learman, pressure coming. Learman fires that all the way down as Berman trying to send it the other way. That goes out the near touchline. That's going to be a throw-in for Learman. Substitutions coming. Bryant back in for Saline. As Bryant is going to give Gray a rest. Learman with the throw in. As that ball on the near touchline, challenged as Barker trying to get it through, and collision is Allen and Templeton, as that will be a yellow card. As yellow card showing. Jan Sane comes in for Pioneer as Templeton comes off. I believe Templeton in the book for a yellow card with
21. Sorry, Jan Sane.
Something he said there that was not appreciated by the official, I believe. As a throw-in, Barker again gets it into the 18. He has just a set of guns on him. He can throw it a country mile. Wilhelm grabs it. 7:40 left to go here in the second. That ball over, Allen chasing it. Allen knocks it down on that far touchline, trying to move ahead is Medina. And Strickler trying to get to it. And volleyed the other direction by Isaac York. Now coming down, here comes Moore. Moore tries to move it over. Strickler has it. Strickler has that challenged and knocked away. Substitutions coming in. Kerboy comes in. Or excuse me, that must not have been Allen. As Allen just came in. And some of the numbers a little hard to read over on the far side as I believe that was Bryant.
Now in for Pioneer, number 7, Sam Kennard.
So Kennard in for Pioneer.
15, Jack Templeton.
Templeton in for Pioneer.
27,
And Kerbaway, that moved over onto the far side, coming over into the 18. Fired out, lofted over. Here comes Barker. Barker with a shot that just goes wide. Oh boy, that didn't miss the woodwork by much as Barker put it in. Just couldn't get the ball to bend, but that turns into a set piece as a corner coming. Ball set as that put up high. Arcs into the 18. That headed over by Allen. Popped up as trying to move it. Lucas Anderson. And a whistle there as the official comes over. Is he going to call a... Did he just call a penalty? He called a penalty shot. He saw something I did not see at all. The official much closer to that. But a penalty shot called. Yellow card on Wilhelm. So they just gave Wilhelm a yellow card.
18, Christian Rossi.
Rossi gets a penalty kick. I didn't see it. Obviously, the official saw something I did not see at all. I'm going to have to go back to the tape and look at that. Fortunately, we don't have replay here. As Wilhelm comes off, now Queen comes in. As they want 5 minutes, 55 seconds on the clock. As tough work for Queen to come in and try and take a penalty shot. Or try and play against a penalty shot. Rossi taking the penalty shot. Rossi with the shot and puts it in. That at 5:55.
Saline goal by number 19, Kristen Rossi.
Saline goal. Well, we're going to have to take a look at that one after the fact. We're all knotted up at a goal apiece at 5:55 on a penalty shot. And a yellow card on Pioneers keeper, Wilhelm.
Now in for Pioneer, number 17, Diego Rivera.
Rivera back in for Pioneer. As the official saw something I did not see in the 18. As that hit down, headed back over by Pioneer, knocked away by Allen, played down by Lucas Anderson, and that will go out the near touchline. Templeton has it on the near touchline with the throw-in. Headed back over, trying to get it was Stefuna. Knocked back the other direction. Here comes Wilhelm. Wilhelm right at the center line. As that's sent back over on the far side. As Chuknowski sent it to the far side. Kerbaway trying to get to it. Headed back by Allen. Kerbaway takes it. Kerbaway dribbles over. Moves it over to Lucas Anderson. And back, fired by Rivera and grabbed by Behrman. Four minutes, 45 seconds left to go. As the ball over on the far side, moved back over. Medina gets it over to Rivera. Rivera trying to get it to Kerbaway, moved back over. Controlled by Chuknowski. Chuknowski over to Berman. Berman trying to avoid pressure by Stefuna. And played over on the near side by Wilkins. Wilkins sends it down and offside's called. All knotted up at one apiece, 4 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. If we are tied at the end of regulation, it will be 2 10-minute periods. No golden goal. So 2 10-minute periods. Here is a kick away. Anderson. Lucas Anderson gets it over. Chuknowski fires it into the 18. Trying to make his way past. That knocked down and now fired up and out on the far touchline. Played there by Rivera. Rivera trying to put it right back in the 18. That knocked away by the Saline defense. Over to Lucas Anderson. Out to challenge Lucas Anderson is Bryant. Here comes Chuknowski. Chuknowski puts it over to Templeton on the near touchline. Templeton trying to get it back over to Wilkins. Wilkins trying to get it ahead. That knocked off of Rossi. Trying to feed it back down was Medina. Now pulled back by Saline. Is Safuna had it. Now pulling down. Medina gets it away from Safuna. Now Medina gets it over on the far touchline to Rivera. Rivera puts it over to Templeton. Templeton trying to get away from Bryan. Now over to Wilkins. Wilkins, good possession by Pioneer. Wilkins over to Kaba. Kaba gets it over to Lucas Anderson. Just inside near touchline. Lucas Anderson being challenged over there by Rossi. Over to Kaba. Kaba over to Lucas Anderson. Trying to get a cross, and that is a whistle. And that will go over to Saline. Phillips in for Saline, as well as Loveland.
Number 14, Will Loveland.
2 minutes, 5 seconds left to go here in the district final. And knocked over and out the near touchline off of Lucas Anderson. Down, Phillips fires it ahead, trying to get it to Rossi. Now Wilkins trying to move it the other way, curb away, back over to Kaba. Kaba knocked high the other direction by Allen. Berman trying to move it over. Now Van Ryan puts it down on the far wing. Batted up high. Rivera trying to get to it, headed back the other direction by the Hornets. Kaba has it just shy of the center line. Kaba rolls it over. Bringing it ahead is Templeton. Templeton puts it. Now that pulled away. Good play by the Hornets as racing down with it is Loveland. Loveland has that knocked away by Van Ryan. Here comes Rivera. 1 minute left to go as that knocked away, picked up by Pioneer. And it's going to be a kick for Saline on a slide tackle that touched the ball first. .33 seconds left to go. As we're just inside the attacking third, that's sent up and headed off to the near side and out. 13 seconds left to go. We seem to be heading towards 10 minutes.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we are going into overtime, 2 10-minute halves. All teams going one way, then the other. If it's not solidified, then it will go into penalty kicks. Let's play a few messages from the MHSAA.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are heading into the overtime period, 1-1 at the end of the second, 2 10-minute halves. There is no golden goal on this, so it is not sudden death. We will go a full 20 minutes on both sides. Curb away to get things started for Pioneer. Pioneer going from right to left here in the overtime period. First half of the overtime period. Wilhelm back in goal to our right. As we are underway, Lucas Anderson moves it ahead. That got knocked down. Moving it the other direction is Bryant. Bryant trying to feed it ahead. Lucas Anderson picks it up. Lucas Anderson looks to his left, now moves to his left, gets it over to Wilkins. Wilkins trying to dribble, getting around Loveland. Wilkins chips it over, and that headed out by Learman over onto the near touchline. Trying to pull that over is Strickler. Strickler over to Wilkins. Wilkins gets it moved back. Chuknowski, or excuse me, that was Kerbaway, over to Medina. Medina coming down the near touchline. Medina has that knocked away by Mitzel. But back over. Wilkins has it. Wilkins puts it to the center of the pitch. Knocked back. Racing over to get it is Rossi. Rossi for Saline. Heads over the center line. Rossi has Berman coming to challenge him now. Van Ryan goes down. Rossi over to Bryant and played down and out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Barker. Barker has it on the near touchline. Barker throws it into the 18 as that shot and saved by Wilhelm. Lucas Anderson fires it all the way down the pitch right to the center line. Moved over to Allen for Saline. Allen bringing it up the near side of the pitch, firing it over to the far side to Bryant. Knocked away by Templeton. Templeton has Bryant pulling it right back. And moved over to Learman. Learman sends it on the other side of the center line. Sent ahead back. Knocked away by Rivera. That will be a throw-in for Pioneer. Templeton has it on the far touchline. Templeton gets it over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson Trying to feed it into the far corner, knocked down by Mitzel. Now Rivera gets it back to Berman. Berman brings it ahead. Berman lifts it high into the near corner. Wilkins has it there. Wilkins trying to dribble his way past. He's dispossessed by Loveland. Over to Medina. Medina over to Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson trying to avoid Rossi. Back over to Medina. Now Balda comes over to watch him. Here comes Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson over to Strickler with a shot, and Behrman with the save. 9:13 left to go here in the first overtime half. 1-1 is our score again. It is not sudden death. We will play the full 20 minutes. If not solved, then it will go to goal kicks. As coming over, that's sent ahead by Van Ryan. Grabbing it, Rivera over to Chuknowski, the Pioneer goal scorer. Chuknowski ahead to Wilkins. Wilkins with a cross. That knocked down, and good job by the Hornet defense. Chuknowski with it. Chuknowski over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway with a shot. That knocked down and grabbed by Behrman. Strickler was coming at him. Behrman did a good job to grab that. Behrman sets it on the edge of the 18 and fires it all the way down the pitch. And brought back. Coming over with it, Kerbaway. Kerbaway makes a move, fires it over to Templeton on the far side. Templeton back over to Chuknowski on the center of the pitch. Chuknowski makes his way down into the attacking third. That shot knocked off of Balda. Back over, here comes Medina. Medina gets it to Wilkins. Wilkins has it kicked away by Loveland. Medina gets it back. Medina back over to Wilkins. Wilkins comes down the near wing. Wilkins with a cross as that goes over and out the end line. As 5:25 left to go here in the first overtime. 1-1 is the score. And kicked away by Behrman as Templeton has it pulled away. Coming ahead, here comes Saline as Rossi gets it over. That kicked away by Berman. Played down by Balda. Balda over to Loveland, back to Balda, knocked away by Chuknowski. Chuknowski clearly held by Balda. As that will be a penalty, and that will be a kick away for Pioneer. As Berman tells everyone to go down. Set to come in for Saline is Courtney. Here comes Berman. Berman puts a spinning ball into the 18. That bounces, trying to get to it. Grab. Good job by Behrman to grab that in the 18. Pirouettes away from trouble. 4 minutes, 33 seconds left to go. We have two just amazing keepers on either side. Both Wilhelm as well as Behrman, and Pioneer has a trio of great keepers. Queen no slouch either. So it was Paroff. That comes down on the far, goes out the far touch line. That'll be a throw in as Learman throws it in. That headed over by Van Ryan. Now Chuknowski over to Templeton. Templeton brings it up the far side of the pitch. Templeton feeds it over to Chuknowski. Kerbaway trying to make a move into the 18. That pulled away by Learman, and Learman sends it out the far touchline. Good defense by the Hornets. That will turn into a corner for Pioneer. 3 minutes, 34 seconds left to go in the first overtime half. Lucas Anderson with the corner. Low line drive out around the arc. Hit up high by Rivera, now grabbed and sent down by Lepore. And picked up right at the center line by Medina. Medina tries to feed it ahead. That headed back up the pitch by Saline. That was Phillips, now launched all the way back. Trying to grab it is Chuknowski. And fed back over. Good move by Templeton to steal a chance away from Bryant. Now Wilkins comes over. Wilkins racing down the near touchline. Wilkins moves over, trying to avoid pressure by Loveland. Back over to Chuknowski right at the center line. Chuknowski launches it over to Templeton. Templeton gets it to Rivera. Rivera trying to make his way past Mitzel as that's pulled away. Bryant coming down the far touchline with it. Trying to get it over to Rossi. Knocked away by Berman. Here comes Chuknowski over to Wilkins. Wilkins ahead to curb away. Knocked down by Phillips and then blasted ahead all the way down. Good defensive play by Loveland. That ball popped up in the air and that'll go into the stands. 2 minutes left to go here in the first overtime. As Lucas Anderson comes off as well as Kerbaway. Bryant coming off for Saline.
Number 6, Rafa Carrillo.
Carrillo in for Pioneer,
12,
as well as Seinfeld Chop.
Elon Seinfeld Chop.
Shot
And
over,
number
grabbed
30,
by
Matthew
Wilhelm. Cobb also in for Pioneer.
In for Saline was number 16, Sean Courtney.
Courtney in for Saline. That headed back over and out the far touchline. That'll be a throw in for Pioneer. 1 minute, 18 seconds left in the first half of overtime. That played Seinfeld Chop. Gets over to Strickland. Back to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop. That knocked away. Again, good defensive play by Allen. Comes back over. Here comes Medina down the near side of the
1
pitch.
minute
Medina
left in the first overtime.
puts
1
it
minute.
into the near corner, and nobody home. That goes out the end line. That'll be a goal kick. 52 seconds left to go here in the first half of the overtime. Behrman has it set right at the 6. And lifted up high, now brought over. And to touch it back with Seinfeld Chop over to Medina. Medina gets it over to Carrillo. Carrillo, that knocked away by Loveland, right back over on the Pioneer side of midfield. That goes out right in front of the Pioneer bench. Medina grabs the quick throw in by Pioneer. That goes
10,
out right in front
9,
of the
8, 7,
Saline bench. 6 seconds
5,
left to go. Kaba
4,
trying to get to it
3, 2,
as that was
1.
kicked away all the way back by Larson, and that will do it for the first half of overtime. Now we'll switch sides. Pioneer will be going from left to right here in this second overtime, and if we can't solve it then, we'll go to penalty
Keep up with
kicks.
everything MHSAA on social media.
As
Look us
quick
up on
2
Facebook,
minute
Twitter,
change
Instagram,
here.
TikTok,
Let's
and
go
YouTube
over
for
and
tournament
play a
updates,
little bit of push
event
on.
announcements, video highlights.
As 1 more minute left, counting down here to go into the second of the overtime halves. Again, it is not sudden death. It's not like a hockey overtime. We will play the full 10 minutes. If we are still tied after that, it will go to penalty kicks. All knotted up at 1 apiece. Pioneers scored on a shot from Chuknowski from outside the 18 that beautifully caught just the top near portion of the goal, just out of Behrman's stretched hands. And then on the other side, it was a penalty shot for Saline that was called, and then a yellow card to Wilhelm put Queen into a tough situation to come in, and then just it's hard to stop the penalty shots as Rossi fired it in to tie it all up. That's how we got here. Nothing scored in the first 10 minutes of overtime. We move to the second 10 minutes. As the players come back out onto the pitch, Wilhelm goes down to our left. Behrman gets its gloves on, heads down towards our right. Chuknowski comes off. Templeton in. And now that's going to be started off by Sefuna. And Sefuna kicks it back over. And grabbed and blasted down onto the near side of the pitch. Templeton moves it ahead. That over to Chuknowski, or moving it over to Rivera. Rivera gets it back over. Rivera sends it to Van Ryan. Van Ryan moves it over on the far wing. And brought ahead. Racing down with it is Medina. Medina has that knocked away by Allen. Now here comes Learman. Learman has that knocked right back. Pioneer with it. Rivera cuts towards the center of the pitch. Rivera trying to move it over. That's stolen away by Rossi. Caba challenging Rossi. Rossi gets it back as Medina has it over the center line. Medina puts it down on the near wing. Pulled down by Balda. Fired right back, and that will roll over to Behrman. Behrman has it. 9 minutes left to go here in the second overtime. Knocked down right at the center line as Chuknowski feeds it ahead. Here comes Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop stops, trying to get across. Seinfeld Chop, that went off of a defender. Pulled back over as coming ahead with it. Grabbing it is Rossi. Rossi steps back. Rossi over to Barker. Barker plays it off the body. Barker with Templeton challenging him. Templeton chips that back over to Van Ryan. Van Ryan comes down the near wing. Van Ryan fires that forward, knocked down by Allen. And knocked away by Seinfeld Chop. He's dispossessed by Loveland. Loveland comes over the center line, puts it all the way down the center line. Medina chases it back. Medina trying to get past Sefuna. Now Medina comes over the center line. Medina racing over, trying to get away from Rossi. Back over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski sends it. Barker challenging that right back to the center line. Here comes Sefuna. Sefuna makes a move. Sefuna trying to get over that shot. Picked up by Wilhelm. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. As that's sent down on the far touchline. Here comes Medina bringing it ahead. Medina has Rossi over to challenge. Caba gets it over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop moves it to Strickler. Strickler has a pair of defenders but gets it to Caba. Caba gets it over to Templeton. Templeton on the near side of the pitch. Templeton puts it in, headed back out by Allen. Grabbed as there is Chuknowski trying to get it over to Carrillo. Good job by Lehrman as that out the near touch line. That should be a throw-in. No, I believe that was an offsides. Pioneer drifted back behind the defense, so that will be kicked away by Saline. As Behrman has it, 6 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in the second overtime. All knotted up at one apiece. And bounces over Headed up by Berman, and there is a whistle. As they were going up, Berman ended up in a collision with heads knocked and Berman down, sitting on the ground. A head injury. They'll quickly take a look at him. Berman pops up. 6 minutes, 30 seconds up on the clock, paused, as they do stop for injury time here, unlike pre-professional or Premier League or MLS soccer. Berman comes over, and he'll come out as Jan Sane, Lucas Anderson. Lucas Anderson moves over. So it looks like Kerbaway, Wilkins, and Jan Sane coming in for Pioneer. Jan Sane quickly comes in to replace Berman. Now Wilkins and Kerbaway come in.
Pioneer, number 18, Tyler Wilkins. Number 21, Sori Yansane, and number 27, Carter Kirwabi.
There's the whistle, and Van Ryan gets it down on that far wing. Medina makes a move, coming over Medina, rolls it back to Van Ryan. Van Ryan over on the near side to Yansane. Yansane coming down the near touchline. Yansane trying to get himself around Barker. That pop back over to Wilkins. Wilkins heads back up the pitch, quickly moving it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to get it away from Rossi. That over on the far wing to Seinfeld Chop, and then sent out down the far touchline. Gathered in there. Here comes Pioneers. Medina gets it back over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway trying to avoid pressure by the Hornets. Chuknowski with it. Chuknowski launches it into the 18. Seinfeld Chop trying to get to it. That goes out the end line. That will be a goal kick for the Hornets. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the second overtime.
Now in for Pioneer number 3, Reese Berman.
Berman comes back in, gives Templeton a rest. As Jan Sane is well out there. Behrman, that over the center line. Medina puts it over onto the far wing. Racing down with it is Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop over to Kaba. Kaba trying to get it over to Kerbaway. That pulled away by Rossi. Rossi over to Behrman, who knocks it up high as that played off the body. And moving it over to Chuknowski. Chuknowski challenged down there by Sefuna. Here comes Pioneer down the far touchline. Medina stops it, moves it back up the pitch. Now trying to knock it back as that went out off of, I think that was Balda. In, here comes Chuknowski over to Kaba. Kaba makes a way past the pair of defenders. Kaba gets it over to Wilkins. Wilkins makes a move over to the near side. Oh, and it just went high. Oh, that was half a foot high, if that. Chuknowski trying for his second beautifully placed shot. That one just a touch high. We're under 4 minutes to go here in the second overtime. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. Behrman boots it away. That down on the Pioneers side of the middle third. That knockback. Pioneer knocks it away. Coming down on the near side, Yansane. Yansane goes down off the near side. Quickly throw in by Wilkins. Trying to come over. There was a whistle. Kaba had it. As limping over there is Yansane trying to work that out. Yansane on the sidelines. That will be a kick for Pioneer just inside the attacking third. Templeton comes on for Yansane. 3 minutes, 27 seconds left to go. Carrillo.
Fouling for Pioneer number 15, Jack Templeton.
Is Barker coming over as now they're going to move it over. They sent it down on the near side and to Wilkins. Wilkins rolls it all the way back towards Medina. Medina comes up the far side of the pitch. Medina and headed away by Learman. Now Carrillo back over to Medina. Medina comes down the far wing. Medina gets it over as Kerbaway brings it over. Kerbaway trying to make a good move, trying to get around Mitzel. Back over to Medina. Medina back over to Kerbaway. Kerbaway sends it up the pitch. Now here comes Chuknowski. Chuknowski trying to make his way past a trio of defenders. As that batted back, now coming in with it, here comes Berman. Berman with a shot that goes high off the locker rooms. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the second half of the overtime. Again, penalty kicks coming up next if no one can settle this in the next 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Behrman moves it over. That ball bounces, gathering it in on the far side. Here comes Pioneer. Over to Kaba. Kaba kicks it back. Here comes Chuknowski. Chuknowski over to Templeton. Templeton brings it up the near wing. Templeton coming up the pitch into the attacking third. Templeton puts a bouncing ball. Seinfeld chop trying to get to it, and I think it took a bounce he wasn't expecting. Merriman able to go and grab that. 1 minute, 38 seconds left to go. Pioneer has really kept heavy pressure on, especially this last 10-minute session. Now I said that, of course, the last minute 30 will be all Saline. That rolled over. Gathered in, Berman over to Templeton. Templeton brings it up the near side of the pitch. Templeton blasts that forward as it comes into the near corner. Behrman lets that roll, and that is going to be a goal kick. There is a player down, and fantastic sportsmanship as one of the Saline players comes over to help him stretch it out. Fantastic job down there by Mitzel. Kind of love that sportsmanship as Mitzel trying to help the Pioneer player get himself stretched out as a long game. I believe that's Kerbaway who's having some issues with the right leg. They try and get that stretched out. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. I don't think any of these players are upset about a quick breather, as they have played an entire game plus 18 minutes and 55 seconds. They continue to work on Kerbaway, trying to get that right leg stretched out. As even though it is 39 degrees out, you can still get that cramping. As a matter of fact, sometimes when it's cold, you don't always think to hydrate as much. As coming back over, it looks like Kerbaway pops up. Real tender on that right leg. Kerbaway will have to come out. He has played a good game, gets a nice muted round of applause. All the Pioneer parents wearing gloves, so you can't hear it as well, but you can hear the padding of gloves together down there. And 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Official comes out. Goal kick from the 6 by Behrman. Behrman, low line drive. 1 minute. Templeton trying to get to it. Now moved ahead by Van Ryan. Learman Sends an arcing ball all the way down, trying to get to a Van Ryan. Now moved over and booted all the way out the near sideline, or out the near touchline. That's going to be a throw-in. As Barker with the throw-in. Barker with 30 seconds left to go. Looking for one of his dangerous throw-ins. That headed back. Loose and booted all the way back. Good job by the Pioneer defense. 16 seconds left to go. That launched back into the defensive third for Pioneer as Mitzol sends it back over. And sent out the far touchline.
5, 4, 3, 2,
and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to penalty kicks. Well, it was a 6-4 win by Saline at Pioneer back in August. Pioneer had a 1-0 win here at Saline back in September. And we have a goal by Pioneer, goal by Saline, and now we are going to penalty kicks.
1, Saline 1. A shootout will be used to determine a winner, which will advance in the tournament. Each team will have 5 attempts to shoot.
So each team 5 attempts to shoot.
After 5 kicks, being declared the winner.
And if you have the lead after 5, you'll have the winner.
5 kicks,
if it's
the 2 teams will alternate kicks.
After
until
5
the tie
kicks,
is
each
broken.
team will alternate kicks to see who gets it. So coaches are going to figure out their top 5 penalty kick players as the Saline fans head down. Over to our right, the student section starts to move over. As we'll see exactly where they start to take these penalty kicks from. As it looks like they're going to kick to the right, because I believe all the Saline players are gathered, or all the Saline students are moving over to the right, kind of coming in towards where the Pioneer student section used to be. They want a better view of the proceedings. Both teams gathered together. Wilkins heads out. He'll come back over. Again, both teams gathered up. The captain's talking with the officials. Behrman down there for Saline with Allen, Lucas Anderson for Pioneer in there with Berman. They've had their talk with the officials. They'll separate out.
There's always help wanted when it comes to high school game officials. Every year, over 1,000 new officials are needed.
Well, as they mention out, there's always help wanted for MHSAA officials. If you don't like the officiating, if you don't agree with the call and think you can do better, sign up at the MHSAA.com to be an official. As we head to a shootout to determine the district title and who will move on to the regionals and play over at Skyline. Skyline hosting the regionals. So the 5 out there for Pioneer: Seinfeld, Chop, Kaba, Chuknowski, Wilkins, and Strickler are the 5 for Pioneer who head out towards the center of the field. On the other side, obviously, Behrman heads down to the right. On the other side, you have Barker, of course. Again, they all have their side to me. Rossi over there. Rossi had the penalty shot that tied the game. And everyone else has their shoulders to me, so I can't tell. As looks like Wilhelm coming over. Both Wilhelm and Behrman, two absolutely fantastic keepers. Talking to the officials down over to our right. As both squads on the sideline not taking the shots, all have their arms around each other, trying to will the rest of their team in. Allen, one of the other players down there for Saline, as well as Bryant. So Allen, Bryant, Rossi, Barker. I only see 4 out there for Saline, 5 for Pioneer. I might be missing someone. So the game behind us is over. They turn off the lights behind us. All of a sudden things got darker. Pioneer first up. Coming down is Seinfeld chop. Well, this is a lot of pressure on both sides. As a penalty shot, if the goalie doesn't guess properly, and a good fist bump between the two before they face off. If the goalie doesn't guess right, you really expect to get this in, but boy, the pressure, the adrenaline, the ease of putting it too hard, too high, too wide, trying to place it too well is real. So here comes the first shot. Seinfeld chop in, and a save by Behrman. As Seinfeld chop tried to go low to the right-hand side, Behrman guessed right, dove. Huge stop. That might be the defining moment. Now coming over, is that Allen? It is Allen. Allen gets it set. Wilhelm in front of him now. Allen steps back. Wilhelm bouncing at the goal line. Allen and puts it in. Saline 1, Pioneer nothing. After 1. Now here comes Pioneer for the next kick. That is going to be Chuknowski, the lone goal scorer in regulation for Pioneer. Chuknowski comes over to give a fist bump to Behrman, and ball set at the penalty spot. Chuknowski back. Chuknowski puts it in. A little higher on the right-hand side. Pioneer 1, Saline 1, but Saline has a shooter coming over. Turn Zach, that is Bryant. Bryant looking to put Saline up again. Wilhelm looking for a stop. Bryant kicks it. Wilhelm went to his left. Bryant puts it in. 2-1 Saline with the lead. Here comes Kaba. Kaba coming over to take the shot for Pioneer. Again, another fist bump by Kaba and Behrman. Kaba gets it set. This is the third shooter for Pioneer. Kaba gets back. Behrman stretching his legs. Kaba puts it in. 2 for Pioneer, 2 for Saline, but Saline is still in the third round, and Saline brings their next shooter up. Pioneer needs to have a stop in one of these next 3, this or the next 2. As that's going to be Rossi, who took the penalty kick earlier and put it in to tie the game. Rossi over, Rossi kicks, and that up in the upper left-hand corner. Rossi puts it in. Pioneer has to hit its next two and hope that Saline misses one so we can go a little further. As coming down, here's Strickler. Ball set for Strickler. Pioneer has missed one, made two. Saline has made all three. Strickler here for round 4 for Pioneer. Strickler back. Strickler and a save. That's pretty much guarantees it now, as Pioneer missed on the first, hit the next two, and not missed. Behrman with the save on the first, Behrman with the save on the second one. And now it comes down to this, is if Wilhelm can make this save, then we continue. We'll go all 5 rounds, but I believe if Wilhelm cannot make this save, and this is really, really the tough pressure situation here. If Wilhelm can't make this save, Saline would have 4, and Pioneer would be unable to match it. So this is the game, and taking it is Behrman, so it's goalie versus goalie here for the deciding factor. As Behrman back, trying to help his own cause. As Behrman puts it in, and that's it, Saline won. Saline wins and advances as the student section runs out onto the field. Pioneer put up a valiant attempt. They had the early score, but a penalty shot in regulation ties it. They go full 10 minutes on either side. And then a save by Behrman on the first penalty shot and the fourth penalty shot. Then Behrman helping his own cause and putting it in, and that concludes it. We will be back on air for tomorrow for the field hockey playoffs at Pioneer versus Forest Hill Central. For my camera person, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you, and good night.